In 2019, the Los Angeles Clippers pulled off one of the most ambitious moves in NBA history. They didn't just sign Kawhi Leonard, fresh off an iconic championship run with the Toronto Raptors, they also landed Paul George, an MVP caliber player coming off his best season with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Together, these two were supposed to make history, transforming the Clippers from the other team in LA into a dominant force. Analysts and fans alike called them the best two-way duo in the league, a pair capable of rewriting the Clippers' legacy. But 5 years later, the story of the Kawhi Leonard-Paul George era is one of unmet expectations, injuries, and heartbreak. So what ultimately happened? Why did a duo with such promise fail to deliver a single championship? And does this era rank among the biggest failures in NBA history? Let's break it down together. When Kawhi Leonard joined the Clippers, he was coming off one of the most impressive playoff runs in recent history. A two-time Finals MVP, he carried the Toronto Raptors to their first ever championship, cementing his reputation as a clutch performer. Paul George, meanwhile, had just finished third in MVP voting during his time with the Thunder. He averaged career highs in scoring and was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. To pair them together, the Clippers made a blockbuster trade, sending a record-setting haul of draft picks and players, including future All-Star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Paul George. It was a steep price, but one for good reason. With Kawhi and PG, the Clippers weren't just assembling a great team, they were building what many believed would be a long-lasting dynasty. For a franchise long overshadowed by the Lakers, this was finally their moment to shine. The 2019-2020 season started strong. Kawhi and PG quickly established themselves as one of the most feared duos in the league. When they shared the floor, the Clippers were an impressive 27-10. Offensively, they had the firepower to dominate, and defensively, they were supposed to be a nightmare for opposing teams. But cracks began to show early. Load management became a polarizing topic, with Kawhi frequently sitting out games to manage his health. These issues culminated in the playoffs, where the Clippers suffered one of the most shocking collapses in NBA history. Up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference semifinals, the Clippers lost 3 straight games, squandering double-digit leads in each of them. The meltdown wasn't just about missed shots or defensive lapses, it exposed a deeper issue. Chemistry problems plagued the team, with reports of tension in the locker room. Critics began questioning the leadership of Kawhi and PG, as well as the coaching of Doc Rivers. It was a devastating end to a season that had started with championship aspirations. The 2021 season offered a glimpse of what could have been. Despite ongoing injuries, the Clippers managed to make their first ever Western Conference Finals. Kawhi Leonard was playing some of the best basketball of his career, averaging 30 points per game in the playoffs. But disaster struck in the second round against the Utah Jazz. Kawhi suffered a torn ACL in Game 4, sidelining him for the rest of the playoffs. Despite this setback, Paul George rose to the occasion, delivering clutch performances to lead the Clippers past the Jazz. Ultimately, the Clippers fell to the Phoenix Suns in 6 games in the Western Conference Finals. While it was a historic achievement for the franchise, it felt like a missed opportunity. With a healthy Kawhi, many believe the Clippers could have won the title that year. In 2023, the Clippers made another high-profile move, acquiring James Harden in the hope of reigniting their championship hopes. But the experiment was doomed from the start. Harden struggled to fit into the team's system, and the Clippers failed to establish any consistency. By the time the 2024 playoffs arrived, injuries once again derailed the team. Kawhi Leonard played sparingly, and Paul George's performance wasn't enough to carry the load. A first-round exit at the hands of the Dallas Mavericks marked the end of an era. Paul George left in free agency this past summer, leaving the Clippers with more questions than answers. For a team that had sacrificed so much to build around Kawhi and PG, the lack of results was a bitter pill to swallow. Analysts have compared the Clippers' failure to the Brooklyn Nets' ill-fated experiment with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. While both teams fell short of expectations, the Clippers' failure feels more significant. Why, you might ask? Because unlike the Nets, who at least reached the second round multiple times, the Clippers missed the playoffs entirely in 2022 and had only one deep playoff run during this era. Steve Ballmer's gamble to trade for Paul George and pair him with Kawhi Leonard now looks like one of the riskiest and most costly moves in NBA history. As the Clippers have now moved into the state-of-the-art Intuit Dome, the future still remains unclear. Players like Ivica Zubac and Terrence Mann offer a hope for a rebuild, but the championship window appears to have closed. Owner Steve Ballmer faces a critical decision. Should the team rebuild from scratch, or should they gamble on another superstar acquisition to pair alongside Harden and Kawhi when he's healthy? With limited draft assets and aging stars, the path forward won't be easy. The Kawhi Leonard Paul George era will go down as one of the most disappointing in NBA history, not because they weren't talented, but because of the gap between what was promised and what was ultimately delivered. But now I want to hear from you guys. Was this era a failure, or was it simply cursed by bad luck? Could the Clippers have done anything differently, or were they doomed from the very start? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more upcoming videos and NBA content. My name is Damian Peters, this is Basketball Network. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.